Hey guys, thanks everyone for joining us here for another round of Q&A with Jim and Jim, but I think it's turned more into Q&A with anyone who joins. So that's the idea. It's
It's
anyone
better
and
that way,
everybody.
dude.
Yeah, no, it's what it's supposed to be. So it's a self-storage community. Cool. We're all here to kind of talk about anything that's on our mind. What's up? News, updates, questions, whatever. So we are recording this. So if your camera's on, which I prefer you to turn your camera on because a little better dynamic that way, but it is going to be reported, so you're all warned. So let's go. Yeah, no, tell me about this. I saw the email blast just like an hour ago about it. What's going on here?
Yes. So we had a press release just come out that XPS is partnering with both KISS and Livestream for video agents. So those who have remote facilities, if they want to use a remote management with a live agent, we're going to be the people behind their technology.
That's
Pretty
great.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So are
I
you going to be like, not to name the other property, but has their own virtual person? Are you going to be the model for our virtual person for you guys?
I will not be the virtual person, but come by the booth. You will actually get to see the remote manager who will be the face behind that. Come by, ask him questions. You can wave to him. He's ready. He's amazing too. Yes.
Looking forward
Come
to
by.
seeing,
You've got to
forward
come
to
by.
seeing as always. And I did find that box of Uno cards, Sherry, so I will bring them with me.
Yes.
And,
I
and
have one in my backpack at all times, but I want to use yours. Yours looks way cooler than mine.
my wife will actually be with me this time. So everybody's like, "You're going to behave yourself?" I'm like, "No.
I
Why?
mean,
Why
why
start
change
now?"
now?
your wife's going to witness the rock star Jim walking around the
Oh, it
expo.
won't be
You're
her
like,
first.
oh,
It won't be her first trip.
we take a
No,
selfie, Jim.
she went with me last year, and
Oh, this.
she's looking forward to getting away from her work, so it's kind of cool. But so
I'm curious on the remote thing, real quick. Like for whoever's going to be like on camera, how many sites can they oversee and be in charge of?
Well, that's a good question, Jim. Come to the booth and ask, because I don't know the answer.
Okay, I'll let Jim do it because unfortunately, I think I told everyone last week, my wife's having some kind of heart issues, so she's going to be in the hospital next week. So right smack
Okay,
dab.
well, stay
in the
there
middle of
with
that.
her.
So I'm
Yeah,
staying
we'll,
here.
we'll
All right.
catch up next time. Oh my gosh, I hope she's okay. Prayers for
We'll be all
that,
right.
for sure.
well, Sherry, she's married to him, and she's lasted this long already. So
I was
she's,
gonna say
you know, how many
25
years,
years.
Jim?
25 years. We're already on borrowed time. So yeah, years to go and check out. So all right, Jim, that's your homework assignment.
Yeah, well,
Get all
did
There
the
you
I
go.
on that.
did I tell you what I said when I hit my 20th anniversary?
What?
So I woke up that morning. I was all excited. I got out of bed. I'm like, yeah, can't wait for 1 o'clock. And she said, why? I said, well, 1 o'clock, my 20 years are up. I'm done. Didn't go over well.
At the countdown. Say I
Really?
do.
I tried, No, but Sherry, I will definitely stop by and do that. And I got to give a shout out. I see Will Harlan on here. I got to give a shout out, Jim. That the tablet we were talking about last week with
Yeah.
I got one in my hands. I've been playing, testing with it, giving Will lots of feedback. You know how I am. I get lots of feedback. So
All
I'm
good feedback.
looking forward to next after Vegas to get my managers on the ground to using it and start really putting it through its tests. But I really think that Rafa, dude, well, you got to come up with a better name than Rafa.
Hey, you got to talk to my founders. I'm not in the marketing department, so I didn't come up with the name myself.
Yeah, Rafa but I think it's going to be a game changer, and I'm already envisioning how I can use it on my world and stuff like that. So we'll keep everybody posted. But this new technology for paperless walkthroughs with the tablets is really, really, really cool. I'm looking forward to putting it through its paces.
Yeah, we're excited to show the industry what it's all about, and I think the reporting that we just rolled out this past week and the level of visibility that it gives to the field. Jim, well, we got two Jims on the call. Jim, one of you has seen them, the other has not yet, but the reporting gives you a lot of visibility into the day-to-day things that your remote field staff or on-site staff are executing and doing. So yeah, we're excited to show everybody at the show next week.
Well, Jim, it's just
Since I
perfect.
wasn't here last week, can we give just a little brief of what you're talking about?
Yes, Will, hop on.
Go ahead, Will.
I can pitch.
Thank
You
you.
guys can, I'm Will Harlan with Sparebox Technologies. We have a couple different technologies that we've built over the past 4 years. built by owners for other owners practically is how we thought about. But the application that the gyms are talking about is specifically a remote field services application. So if you're in a manned facility, a hybrid, or a hub and spoke methodology, it's kind of taking the day-to-day activities that you execute at a facility, full walkthrough, brand standards, customer communication, and automating it through an application. So that's the high
And
level.
does that connect with your software?
Yeah, it connects with the PMSs and it gives kind of the back office a secondary tool to interface with field staff around communication and kind of the execution of all the things that you manage at a facility. So
Cool.
Yeah, to me, I'm looking at it for, especially for the boots on the ground guys, just the accountability that they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing.
yeah,
I love that.
That's it. I was
That's
just in Ohio last week, and we had a guy just up and quit on us. And I got there, and if he wasn't gone, he'd be gone, because what I found when I walked on the property was appalling. And if I had Rafa and the tablets there with just the brand, what's it called, Will? Brand
standards.
brand standards, that I could have taken a picture of the keypad and the fence line and the gate and all the things, I would have seen that he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing, and we would have been able to react to it a lot faster. So I'm really looking forward to testing this thing out and giving it a nice kick. And I'll have to pick on Bill Hoffman because he's not there, but give Bill a little grief once in a while.
He'll love getting picked on. But yeah, we're coining it operational visibility, and I've been kind of behind the reporting and the build out of it over the past few months, and the level of accountability that's bringing to the industry, I think, is really fascinating. And we're working with the clients that are using it today to say, what other types of visibility do you need around the operations teams? You had a question earlier about how many facilities can a remote manager manage. I think you're thinking about proximity, how tight our facilities coupled, but what we're seeing is on average 3 to 5 facilities. Somebody can touch each of those facilities, do the day-to-day tasks, and execute them pretty seamlessly. But the reporting is going to give us more and more insights as we move forward. So we're excited to kind of see more and more folks use the tool and see what we can capture out of it. So,
And Jim, another great part, Da Vinci locks work seamlessly through Rafa.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. I don't want to give the full pitch or take up all the time, but yeah, integrations are critical with any technology in any industry, and that's been a big focus of ours, making sure that if we're putting a remote management tool out there, that we're integrated with the remote management tech stack that's out in the field already. So that's PMSs, locks, you name it.
Hey, Will, do you have access to that YouTube link that Bill shared last week? If you do, drop it in the chat here, that anybody who wasn't here last week can watch it and kind of get a taste for it. But again, Dave Reed, I'm looking at you right now, center screen. This for you out there in Washington. I mean, I already see your wheels turning. So this is stuff that's really going to be cool. So
yeah, you talk about that 5-minute pitch, basically. That video, yeah, I like that video.
Yeah, my wheels are turning right now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So how is Seattle, Dave?
Pardon?
How is Seattle? I
It's
enjoyed
beautiful.
my day out there, and tell you what, that is a gorgeous ballpark. And I found a great sandwich out there out in the left center field. They had a crab cake sandwich on Texas toast.
Yep.
I would go
do it on the
back.
West Coast.
Jan, this isn't the food channel. That's not right.
It was Jim. It was good.
All right, I'm gonna read this question while I read that. Go ahead and put your information in, Will. Someone's asking for
Yeah, I'm going to snag the video now. I'll put it in chat here shortly.
Cool. Yep. All right. So we got Olivia here. Let me read this. I almost need glasses. This is getting real.
Well, she's on. Let her ask the question herself. She's got her camera on.
If you got your camera, turn. Ask the question. There you are.
Okay, hey. I mean, I try my best to explain it in the question, but okay, so we are an older facility here, and I like to refer to us as vintage because we were built in the 90s. But we have a brand new facility that just opened up across the road, and because of that, our numbers have dropped significantly, and I can't seem to get more bodies in the door to even be interested. And I'm kind of at a loss of what to do, if that makes sense. Like, I'm trying what do you call it? Promotions. So like I'm doing like right now where I've dropped my prices significantly lower than anyone else around, and I'm doing 50% off for the first 3 months plus a free lock. I'm desperate.
All right, time out. Before you do any of that stuff,
You're muted.
I'm muted.
No, we can hear him.
Okay. Before you do any of that stuff, I gotta ask, what your traffic? Are you a lot of walking, or are you getting a lot of internet traffic? Because we're gonna go back to the same thing, Jim. We seem to talk about every week. If your website isn't maximized and you're not ranking well in Google and they can't find you, you can drop your prices all you want. You can put the best prices out there you want. If they can't find you online, it's not going to help you. So my question for you is: are you maximized? Are you in the map pack of Google? Are you in the top ranking? Are you there? You got good reviews? Is your digital presence maximized to get the traffic coming to you? Because if you're not there, that's good. That's the first step I would take.
Well, we are the #1 that pops up when you look us up online, and we have amazing reviews because we do those Google review contests every year. So we have tons of reviews, and we're always the first to pop up. And I started doing Instagram for us as well to try to get more people engaged. I don't know.
All right, what city are you in? I'm doing a search right now.
Clarksville, Tennessee.
Hartsville? Harts?
Clarksville, like from the Monkees song.
Oh.
CLARKSVILLE. Oh, you got me thinking.
That's a throwback reference. So
I'm impressed you knew who the Monkees were.
I know.
I grew up on them.
Well, then you got good taste.
So do our parents.
I'm doing an incognito search here, and I'm trying to. Can't reach the page. What's going on here? Can you do one, Jim, real quick?
Look at Clarksville lock storage. We should be the
No. I don't want to look for you. I just want to look for
generic search.
Can you do it, Jim? I'm losing the screen here.
Oh, sure. I'll look it up. Go and chat real quick while I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, because here's the problem, Olivia. A lot of people think they rank really, really well. And when you search for yourself on your own computer over and over and over again, you're always going to show top. But if you do an incognito search or search on a different browser, you'd be amazed what you're going to find. Jim, I can't. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I've had a problem with my screen.
I'm looking it up.
Well, share your screen. Let me see what you're seeing.
No, I'm
Oh.
getting it right now. Gotta hide all my windows I don't want you guys looking at. Come on. Gotta have a little anonymity here.
Dude, no.
All right.
Are you guys Clarksville self-storage? Is that you?
We are Clarksville lock storage, not self-storage.
Eva, yeah, you're on here. Chime in, girl. You're one of the experts here.
So just looking, I am having a hard time finding you guys.
That's my thought, Eva, 100%.
Yep. And main thing is once you do find yourself on that first page, is if you are in the organic section, make sure your title tag that you're being found on there is an advertisement and not like your name and
Jim, you got Hartsville, not Clarksville.
Yeah. What you want to do is like, I have the lowest prices, so put your lowest prices on the title tag.
Okay. I have no idea how to do any of that. In fact, I don't even have control over it because we're, I guess, corporate owned.
Wait, did she say Clarksville or Hartsville? Was it C or H?
Here, I'll type it in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
That might help.
Yeah, Olivia, I'm looking here and I don't see you anywhere on here.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's Clarksville with a C, Jim.
Oh,
Clark,
gotcha.
yeah, CLARK.
Clarksville Self-Storage, Valley Self-Storage, Wickham Self-Storage, CubeSmart, U.S. Storage Center, Chris Pritz Storage, Safe Place Storage, GP Self-Storage. Yeah, Olivia, I don't see you anywhere in there. So I would say get with your corporate people and have them do a big check, because what you're doing with your prices, it's not helping you because nobody can find you.
Jim, I found Clarksville lock storage and a page 4.
Page 4.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So
Olivia,
I
there's-
searched, Jim, I did the same thing you did, the incognito search. So I
Yep.
didn't have any previous history there.
Yep.
that's the best way to search, guys. Incognito is the best way to do it.
How do you search incognito?
In the upper right-hand corner where your 3 dots are,
Oh,
you can click on that and you'll see a new search incognito.
Yeah.
you're on by the Smoots, huh?
Yes.
Okay. I gave him this video. I remember that. That was a long time ago. All right. I used to do these animated videos like 10 years ago. So, okay.
Still
I
send
can
them
make
out
that.
to us all the time. So
That's-
I've seen pretty much every video I think you have ever made because they always send it out to us.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's
Hey,
great.
Jim Ross, not to cut you off. I got Dave Cooper saying he's trying to get in the room, but he's waiting for me to let him in.
I've let everybody in. Let's see.
I'm
in.
Olivia,
we're in.
Olivia, I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
drop a couple links in chat too. There's some website audit tools. They're not like the most robust things, but some of the free tools out there will look at your title tags, your meta tags, your descriptors, kind of all the back end information. And if you have opportunities to enhance those or add additional information, I think I heard somebody else mention some of the things I just brought up. But if you just put your website into the tool, it will analyze it and then spit out kind of some of the areas that you can look into to optimize. You might have to work with corporate to implement some of the things, but you can take, you'll have an idea of what to take to them to implement with the tools. So
So do you think that that means that these newer facilities that are opening up are using these tools to get them on the front page? Because I know for a fact we used to be the #1 that used to pop up. That was before I even started working here, when I've never looked up self-storage of any sort on my phone. That was like 2 years ago, but we have a lot of new facilities now, so not really.
Lily, aren't you glad you hopped on today?
Yeah, I was going to chime in really quickly if that's all right. The past 2 years have become really competitive in the market. Well, the pandemic was amazing for us, but this past year has become, everyone's it's like a free for all for marketing. And so everybody's coming back to it. There was like a period of time where people weren't paying for their marketing the past 2 years.
Right.
And so in those past 2 years, they were like, oh, this is fantastic. And a lot of new people too. And then so those new people are coming back on and they're going, oh, I need to do marketing now. So there's a lot going on in this past year that's kind of new again to the industry. So that's probably what happened. You were seeing yourself, but just a lot of people just hopped back on board.
Cool.
Jim, sounds like you might need to reach out to your previous client to give him a little hand.
Well, I'm good at just the overall general marketing. When you start going under the hood and the nuts and bolts, yeah, that's a different level. So
Well, at least point Olivia in the right direction. So
I
I
would
think
say
she's got some good tips
Hello,
here.
everybody, and thank you for taking a few minutes to join us with Spare Ball.
sorry,
Oh, okay.
that's my bad.
Who was that? And God,
I was trying to pull up other videos to share and it auto played a video on YouTube. So
definitely have Ryan or Matt or whoever was from the Smoots, have them book a time with me. Let me get a little more detailed on your site, because what works for you will actually work for their whole entire portfolio, frankly. Because I bet there's a few things to dot the I's and cross the T's that may not be done that can get you in the right direction, at least visibility online wise. I'm just curious, just physically, how are you? Like with these new ones coming on, do they get better drive-by, or how are you situated?
Well, it's a small road that we're on.
Yeah.
And the way it's set up, we have a military post. And then when you're coming from the military post and you turn onto this particular road we're on, we're the first one that you run into storage-wise. And then it kind of trickles from there. So it's like, we are by far the closest.
There's a military base there?
Yeah, it's called Fort Campbell.
What have you done with them?
You can say nothing. It's okay.
It's always, be honest. I'm serious. It's because
I didn't
that's
I'm supposed to do anything with them.
that's a low hanging fruit
Yeah.
that seriously that you need to go and talk with whoever there in the marketing department, saying, okay, anyone that's when they're coming in or going off base, we will give you this kind of discount.
Yeah.
Leverage that tremendously. It's
Yeah.
not a sword. Now, if they go into lean, you can't touch it, you can't auction, that kind of thing. But I'd much rather get filled up.
Yeah, they're great. I agree,
That's
Jim. They're
great.
perfect. They're perfect customers, and they stay there forever.
Yeah.
I would, as soon as we hang up,
Agreed.
you're calling that base and see who to talk to about that kind of thing, because that's gold.
And Olivia, I wouldn't feel bad because this
Don't.
exact conversation happens with a lot of people on these things on a every other week basis that I'm doing really good. But when you really look at it deeper, you know, and like I said, by lowering your prices, all you're doing is hurting yourself right now because they're not fine. So I would bring your prices back up where they probably could be, and then, you know, get the other things going on here. But once they find you, even I know I'm not a big fan of it. A lot of people aren't a big fan of it, but Sparefoot is a good aggregator and they can help you fill it up too. So check out Sparefoot and see where they rank.
We use Sparefoot, but no one. So like we have 3 properties here. Our other 2 properties get booked all the time with Sparefoot. I don't have any interaction with it really. Like maybe
Yeah.
once a month.
Then you need to make sure that, again, Jim, their team is looking at their Sparefoot. Make sure that, again, their MyFoot page is maximized because there could be something wrong there. And Jim, if you're not as familiar, I can help out whatever. But the those things can definitely help you vault you back to the top.
Okay.
Olivia, are you doing military discounts? We have a property next to a military, and we use military discounts, and it works well.
Yeah, no, we do. We do 5%. I mean, I feel like it could be more since we're right next to the military because I think everyone does 5% military around here.
I can tell you we do 15 active military.
Yeah, we do 10.
Yep. Doesn't matter if they don't know she exists. So no.
Olivia,
Contact them.
Yeah.
Yep.
note in the chat for you, it's a screenshot of what your title tags and everything look like on your facility page. So you can take that back to them and you can see that it's over 100 characters. It should be no longer than 60 characters on that first portion of it. So there's already like a red flag there, kind of.
Oh,
Are we
thanks,
looking
Eva.
at where it says description and it says the title? The title.
Yeah, the title.
Got it.
And that's like when you go to the top of the page where you see the tab, you can like hover over it and you'll notice that's what matches it. It's like fence and gated storage with what that should say is storage unit starting at $45.
Huh.
And then, yeah, exactly. Then you put that in, and Clarksville, Tennessee at the end of it. But it should be very concise, and you should have an advertisement reaching out to the client to let them know that if you are the lowest, you're the lowest. If you're not the lowest, do your special.
Okay.
And I'm going to chime in there, Olivia. You don't want to be the lowest. Absolutely not. Do not be the lowest price in town, because you'll get the customers you probably don't want.
And this is the kind of stuff, well, like I said, you look at this, you're like, okay, well, crap, now what? At least this kind of gives you a report card, frankly, of like kind of where you're at.
Right.
But cool, now what the crap you're supposed to do with it. That's when you have people like Eva that's on the call that can help plug in the holes for this kind of stuff. Because, yeah, your average person, and you don't know what the crap to do with this. But at least now you kind of have a report card of where you stand.
Should I just like save this screenshot and email it to the smoots and be like, hey, can you fix this for me?
So that's gonna probably like go to storage. Just email it to them and say, hey, I want to change my title tags. Once you email it to the smoots, just say, hey, we want to change our title tags to these across the board, and they should do that for you pretty quickly.
Are they using storage website, Eva?
I'm sorry, I'm kidding. I thought they were. Are they?
I think they changed.
Am I on the right one? Yes.
Hey, Eva, while you're looking at that, the SEM Rush page, do you recommend that out a lot? Because I've used that a couple times. SEM Rush to kind of give a brief, look and see, a quick look to see where they're at. What are your thoughts on that page?
Oh, I love SEM Rush. When it like the free version of it, I actually have the paid for version of it. I love just being able to see all of the ins and outs. I use a ton of different tools, like Search Console is one that's a free tool that's provided to you by Google that lets you see exactly what your search looks like to Google. So your keywords on the first page of Google, what the search clicks, impressions, all that stuff is. So you can actually hone in on just your most valuable resource, which is Google. And then also SEM Rush. I also use a tool called, oh my gosh, Jim, you know the tool I'm talking about. why am I blanking on it? The one with the map in it.
No, just the heat map. Like
Yeah, with the heat
buy
map in it.
local. Yeah, I
Yeah.
usually buy local for that.
Yeah, I mean, plus if not, I mean, I don't know who their website is, but I would be talking to the website company itself because I know, we had that conversation a lot with people that, hold your website accountable, make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing for, and make sure you're getting what you're paying for. I mean, I know I just did a consulting job with somebody, won't say who they were using, but there was no SEO behind it at all, and they were paying for something. Like, guys, you're not getting what you're paying for. So, make sure that your bosses are making sure the websites are doing what they're supposed to be doing, whether it's Storage or Go Local or Storage Pug, or I saw Christina Powell from Storage, she's on here, or will anybody at G5 or Jamie Boers, I don't know if Jamie's on here from Automated, but make sure your website partners are part of the process. Make sure they all understand what you're doing. Will, you were G5 for a long time. You know the importance of that partnership.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I ran sales at G5 for a number of years, and we provided websites to the industry and digital services. Yeah. Be in touch with your account manager, customer success manager, whoever sold you the initial website. They're there to support you and improve the website ongoing. So
It's kind
And
of
that is storage for you guys.
this kind of comes back full circle, like we were talking about the accountability with the boots on the ground.
Yep.
This is accountability for your SEO and the website guys. So
Yeah.
often I see people are like, oh, I pay for that. What are you paying for? And you just got to dig in a little bit more. And a lot of times is you kind of be the squeaky wheel. Might be a pain in the ass sometimes, but I'm like, no, this is cool. Look at this. Help me fix this.
That's why I say it's not a set it and forget it business, Jim. Even Sherry's on here, and Sherry knows call center. We have conversations about call centers all the time. Call centers, websites, software, credit card processing. We're talking with Will at that spare box and all these spare foot. I mean, Dave Cooper, you're on here. How many times do you have calls with your vendor partners?
Oh, often, probably every other week.
And you got to hold them accountable. You're the customer. Hold them accountable and make sure you're getting what you're doing. If you're not getting reports, and So Olivia, what software are you using?
I don't understand the question.
What PMS software are you using? What are you using to run the business? SiteLink, storage. What is it?
SiteLink.
SiteLink.
So Olivia, there's a report in corporate control called Unit Demand Tracking Report, and it'll tell you how many leads you're actually getting from your website through. They go right into your software. I dropped my email tag in there for you, Olivia. Give me a call afterwards. I'll give you a few reports to look at in SiteLink to see where we're at, and kind of go back and say, hey, guys, we're not getting anything. Those reports are important. I mean, Dave, you and I had the same conversation with you guys, right? About the web leads and all that. Tracking those leads are critical.
So the thing about the corporate thing, that's the one that has a CC on it, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, we don't have access to that because they don't pay for it anymore.
No, if you have SiteLink, you have it. They probably don't give you access to it. But I will show you a sample report and then go back to your bosses and say, hey, can we look at this report at our database and see what it does? I'll show you what report you need to look for.
Okay.
But it'll give you a starting point, and then go back to your vendor partner and say, hey, what's going on with this stuff?
Got it. I've been copy and pasting everything into my notepad, so I'm like, I don't forget anything.
Hopefully that helps. We don't want to overwhelm you, but hopefully it kind of gives you a step on the right path. So
this is why we do this stuff.
That's the constant issue, and we're trying to communicate, trying to come up with ideas of how to get bodies in here. But at the end of the day, we just keep hitting this wall. So this is a new direction that has not been presented yet. So I'm excited to explore it.
Okay. All right. Well, those are two takeaways. SEO stuff. She actually put Eva put her county link in there to get a little more one-on-one specifically on that case. So she's great with her time that way. And then third is your military base. So, and they can reach out to me. I have like marketing material specifically for that kind of stuff too. So happy to help out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Move on. Let's go. We got about 25 minutes left. So any other questions, comments, throw it in. If not, we'll pick on somebody. No, we won't do that. That'd be kind of neat if we did that, huh? Just pick
Oh,
on somebody, do like a hot seat.
Jim, you said you wanted to bounce over and grab a few questions from somewhere else.
I was thinking of that. How many people have gone like on Inside Self Storage Talk forum? Just curious, because I honestly I kind of forgot about it for a long time. I've been a member on there, and I kind of forgot about it. So I thought it might be kind of fun to jump on there, see if anything pops out. Because what
I'll
we'll
do
do
that, or
is,
go onto Facebook and start looking at posts in the self-storage manager page. That's always scary. I'm going to say this to everybody on here. I mean, being parts of this group are great. You can share a lot of data, but please, some of the statements that come out there, like there was one the other week said, "Hey, I need a lease for this state," and the one says, "Oh, just copy and paste from somebody else." Please, please, please don't do that. Spend the money. Go to your association. If they don't have it, Scott Zucker, Jeff Greenberg, or Carlos, they will write leases for people. Do not try to go rent a unit to copy somebody else's lease, because 9 times out of 10 they're not right. We just picked up a store in Indiana, and it had a page, little over a page lease. My Indiana lease is 8 pages long with all the things there. It didn't have the ability to communicate electronically. It had the wrong late fee structure. It was just wrong. So make sure you guys are updating your lease. And for everybody out here, when was the last time you had your lease looked at by somebody? Was it 6 months, a year, or longer? If it's longer than that, I'd get your lease looked at.
yep. A lot of times I'll do it for free, like an initial. I mean, if they're going to actually write a new lease for you, then they'll charge for it. But a lot of times they'll kind of give it a once over and be
I
like,
think
yeah.
Jeff Greenberg at the shows always looks at a lease
Yeah,
for
he will.
somebody.
Yep.
He's got his late clean product out there, but yeah, it's
no, take them up on that. I wish they would promote that a little bit more, frankly, of that service, because it's
well,
mildly.
Jeff does it when he speaks. I know that when he's in the conferences,
yeah.
he'll say it. But
okay, well, let me do this. Let me share my screen. Why not? There's never a consistent framework with this. We're just kind of go with the flow and see what comes to mind. So with this, I'll literally just think about this right before we jumped on here. This is self-storage talk. It's a forum within Inside Self Storage. Kind of have to do a little bit of digging sometimes to find it, or you just go right to that domain, selfstoragetalk.com. And yeah, it's just kind of a free for all of operators and vendors and managers and owners kind of throwing stuff on here. So I just sorted my latest activity. I'm just kind of looking real quick. 3 units. Guy says he's gonna move out, has mattresses. That's boring. Couple banging in a unit. No, this is a
couple what?
No, you heard me. Yeah.
Did I hear you right?
You heard me. So, all right, we'll skip that one. This is not.
Yeah, please skip that one. It's yeah.
This is not Q&A after dark. Let's just keep
They're
going.
just building some shelves in there, you guys. Come
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Yeah, that's all it was. All right, let's see. Well, since we're talking about marketing, let's just try this real quick. All right, here, I'll make it a little bit bigger.
Please, I'm old.
Come on. It's not letting me in this screen. Dang it. All right, I'll just read it.
You know why? You're using an Apple.
I know. Usually it's fine, but not when I'm in share mode on Zoom, apparently. It doesn't like that. All right, let's just see. This is Carlos. And what we'll do, I think kind of fun. I'm going to splice this up, and I'm going to reply to this in a video format. So let's just do that. So this is Carlos Shane. He says, hello, everyone. I'm running a small business. I'm looking for effective marketing strategies that won't break the bank. Aren't we all? With a limited budget, I'm focusing on maximizing ROI. I'm considered social media marketing, email campaigns, and content creation, but I'm unsure where to prioritize my efforts. Has anyone had success with low-cost marketing techniques? Do you have any tips on balancing paid ads with organic growth? Also, how do you measure success? I appreciate any insights or recommendations. So bottom line is, how do I get the phone to ring for cheap? Kind of bottom line, right?
Didn't we just have this conversation for like
I
25
know we
minutes?
just talked about. We'll customize it for him. Let's make his day. What's your initial thoughts, Jim?
My initial thought is going to be make sure your GBP page is maximized to its fullest with product and links and pictures and all that stuff, and your reviews are current.
Yeah, I was gonna say just kind of low hanging fruit for biggest bang for your buck. Well, you can't beat cheap and free. So, like you just said, Google My Business. That's the number one thing I see that's not optimized to
Google Business Profile.
You'll never change me. It's gonna be Google My Business till the day I die. I don't give a shit. It's what it is. But yeah, that's first and foremost. Make sure that's optimized. Your reviews. This is we're a broken record. Reviews. Another thing that's cheap, kind of a thing, is competition alliances. This might kind of go for you too. Going around towards everyone that's in your area. You go by, introduce yourselves. Hey, I'm so and so from this site. Been around for a while. Just want to introduce myself. A lot of people don't do that. And if you can kind of connect manager to manager that way, you're all on the same playing field. Kind of get that rapport. That's awesome. Be like,
Jim,
hey,
I told you years ago, Stephanie Tharp, who was self-storage, A+ self-storage. She was she had a store in Tennessee and I had a store in Tennessee. We actually spoke one day on stage in Vegas. Our properties actually shared the same fence line. Okay. But
yeah.
she was a Class A climate controlled building. We were all drive up non-climate and parking. So whenever I had people looking for climate, I sent them to Stephanie. And whenever she had people looking for non-climate and parking, she sent them to me. And we had a great relationship. And the customers, and always put yourself in the customer's perspective. If you go out of your way to help a customer, they're going to remember that. It might not be they rented from you today, but hey, somebody wants a parking spot, and they say, hey, you know what? Go see these guys. They took care of me, sent me somewhere else, but they helped me get what I needed. It goes a long way.
Oh, totally. It's like I said, the bottom line is for those competition alliances, you're just saying, hey, if you're full on a certain size code, you can't help them. No one's going to be on a waiting list because they need storage now. They're not waiting for 2 weeks, a month. It doesn't happen that way.
I just paid a manager in Georgia, brand new. We picked up property in Georgia. We had a lot of vacancies, and they had nothing big. We had big. They had nothing big. I said, every time you send me somebody down your way, we're going to pay you $30.
I think you're a cheapskate. I pay $100, but it's the same idea because I know what I'm willing to pay for a rental. So I
had to get it past the partners first. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I know.
I would have paid 100 too, but
they're all cheap. But now I get it. So yeah, competition alliances are great. A lot of times it's real quick. I'll go and shake hands, talk to them about that. I'll send a letter, follow up via email, follow up phone call. Getting those kind of things set is great. And again, you're only paying when you get the rental, so cheap that way. Kind of going back to what we were talking about before is having a SEO analysis done on your website, making sure everything's humming when it comes to your website and people actually finding you're not wasting your money on what you're supposedly paying for. Make sure they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing for your website. It may be time to change that up. Don't know your facility specifically, but that's something to kind of check off that checklist is having an analysis done on your website. So yeah, for GMB, competition alliances, website, anything else that comes to mind? It's kind of the top 4 things.
I was gonna say credits for referrals.
Yep.
So, and the other thing is, I always encourage people, if you have it concrete, get those concrete stickers for your floors inside of your storage units, so that you could put like referral or review, and you can put them on the floors where people are walking around. It's where people genuinely will look, because it's the only place that most places don't have advertisement, and it's a kind of stands out a little bit. But if you have it on the floor, you'll usually get a lot more reviews or a lot more referrals.
Eva, I would put a QR code down there.
I'd do it too. There is but just have people check the QR codes because of the scams that are going around. But I'm all for the QR codes. It makes it so much easier.
You do a QR code for referrals?
Yeah, you get a short link from well, for referrals, what you do is you can do a QR code to the website and create a link into it where they can fill out a form and put the person's name in. And they're, yeah, at that point, it's just a quick like, hey, what's your name? I'll put my name in. And then it'll get sent to you. And then you can either reach out to them or that person calls to you.
I think that'd be great if I'm much more a visual person. If we know of a site or have permission to show someone that has that in place, I would like to actually highlight that strategy.
I did that more when I was a property manager, or I was at a property management company myself, and I don't have permission to show those ones. But I definitely, I'll see if I can find some like examples in my files and send them over to you.
If not, yeah, I can make one on my own sites because, again, it always comes down to, this kind of comes back to his other question he was asking of tracking. So many times when it comes to the referrals, we're just like sending out an email blast going, hey, if you know a buddy, send them our way. We'll give you some money off your rent or a gift card or whatever. And you're just hoping it happens, but you have a hard time tracking it. And yeah, so a form like that would be help fill in that, that.
Yeah, somewhere in
All
my
through
archives here, I have the full form and what all of the questions were on that form. And they weren't mandatory, but there were a few that were like the unit number that the person who was referring you from was in, things like that. But it worked out really well, and we got a lot of referrals from people and got that contact form filled out pretty frequently.
Cool. Well, again, hopefully that helps a little bit on who asked that question. So cool. Keep posting on Inside Self Storage Forum and on the talk. All right, good enough. All right, thanks, guys. That'd be kind of a fun little experiment. I'll send that to him. I would like to talk a little bit more about, because I think that's something I don't know of anyone that's really doing, at least in my little world of communications within the actual unit. Like you were just talking about with QR codes or anything. Usually people just open the door and there's a lock on the floor for a lucky, and sometimes they put a little thank you card. Maybe. But other than that, I don't see anything really being done when it comes to inside of the unit. So now you got my wheels clicking here.
I have a website I'll send you that's like super cheap for vinyl prints on like the concrete stickers.
Yeah.
And you can get a bunch of them printed for like less than $100.
So concrete stickers. All right, we're gonna stay 2 more minutes on this idea because I'm curious. So we do them for like referrals. Do something obviously for reviews. That's number one. Wondering about like when people move out, click here to, I don't know, we'll see. I'm just trying to think of what else you would want to put in inside the unit for communications. Any
Well,
other
Jim, as you're talking
ideas?
about one, I know we talked before about Store Pass, that program from Firearm.
Yeah.
On the back of your, it's kind of hard to see. On the back of on your pass, you can actually send a referral link to somebody. So it's built on the pass where you can go in there, enter the first and last in the referral, send them a message right to them, and they track the referrals. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. There's a lot of more than one way to do that. So yeah.
Cool. James Franz, you got your hand up. Sorry, I'm terrible about looking at that.
Hey, thanks. So I've been talking with our staff here. Look, it's hard to find customers in some ways, but I know where there's 300 of them and they're at a facility, 2 kilometers away. So I'm curious if you've ever really had any success like poaching customers out of another facility. A couple things that we've just sort of brainstormed would be like we coordinate with a moving company and get a flat rate from them. So we know, like you said, it's worth $100 for a referral. So if I could get them to give me $100 to move a 10 by 10 over or 5 by 10 over, then right, I could say free move to our facility. Geo targeting them with like pay-per-click ads saying like upgrade your storage size for the same price, things like that. But I'm curious if you have any other ways to snag customers out of another storage facility.
One thing we've done, James, is especially when a certain company is really doing crazy with pricing and rate increases every 60, 90 days. When somebody comes in and tells us they're moving from that other company down to us from down the street, we'll say, hey, by the way, if you're in there moving out and you see somebody else, and hey, we're moving Y, and if you give them a referral card, they send them down our way. So a lot of times when they're moving out, and they're, when somebody's not happy, they're going to tell 25 people. So if they're moving out because of prices or stuff like that, and they have a reason to help, give out a card, say, hey, I'm going down the street because these guys are much better. I've seen that work a couple times.
Yeah, I'm a little cautious sometimes of going down that road because then you can just get in a war at times.
Oh yeah,
I'll admit it. I've had some took over a site. I won't say where, but took over a location, had just a crap ton of vacant units. I'm like, we got to get something to get the ball rolling because there was nothing going on. And we were surrounded by some sites that had no gate. They had nothing. There was mom and pop that were just, you could just drive in and nothing, no security or nothing. I may or may not have had a little flyer that I put under the doors and said, come on over and I'll give you, I think it was like 2 months free or some crap like that.
I mean, I could do that just by renting a storage unit and going around. That's pushing it.
And it was pushing it. That owner called, was like, I want to get you for trespassing. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was just trying to do anything I could. So I was wondering about pushing those kind of limits.
Just go put a concrete sticker right outside their gate.
Exactly. What I have heard, and I never have heard the results they got. So I'll preface this, but people that were geofencing.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Go ahead.
Terrible with those like geofencing and those stones and all of that stuff. And oh my God, it was like the worst experience in marketing I've ever tried to learn and get into. And then I hired a company to do it. And then it was just a bunch of fluff and stuff. And it was terrible. Don't ever waste your money on that.
Thank you. Okay, so that's only the other thing I could think of that people had tried for their competitors, and I never heard the results. So
what I'm saying is geofence an area to target it with pay-per-click campaign, right? Like,
yeah.
Geocaching and geofencing, two different things.
Yeah. Either that, James, or do a Facebook ad and say, hey, if you're doing a local, if your current customer storage facility not taking care of you, come find us, things like that, and have your customers share it and spread the word. I mean, realistically, for me, existing customers are still my biggest source of referral ever, and repeat customers. So if you can get your current customers talking about you to other people and really push your referral program out that way. I mean, we've done it where we've done it in the past. We'll do a email blast to all our existing customers. Hey, instead of $25 for next month rental, it's $50 off, whatever. Change it up once in a while. Keep it fresh.
How do you communicate the referral program? Email, letters?
Email blast.
How often?
We probably should do it every 6 months. We don't want to do too often, but on every one of our invoices, every one of our receipts, at the bottom it says, ask us how to earn free cash. Or I'm sorry, ask us how to earn free rent all the time. We put that on all our invoices, letters, or anything like that. And people call back, hey, how do I earn free rent? Easy, refer people to us. But we have that, we changed it up. We'll move it around, sometimes up and down a little bit under the Facebook, but we try to change our formats a little bit. That way it's not the same thing they're looking at all the time.
Yeah.
So a couple more that we have is one, I don't know. Okay, so parking our moving vehicle outside their facility.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Okay. Setting up a trail cam near their gate and just watching for branded company vehicles that go in and out, so I know who's storing there, and then contact them and say, hey, you're probably using storage. Like, you don't need to know how I know that, and offer them a better rate or free package delivery or, XYZ options. But anyways,
no, it's totally fine. Again, this is
I know where there's 100 customers or 200 customers and I want them. So
yeah.
I know it's just such a dicey subject of you want to get in the pissing match with people. That's what it kind of boils down to. I'm just let the best facility win. Whoever gets that customer in the first place, cool. Could have done better marketing in the first place. Because we all know, frankly, I'm just wondering how much time and effort would be spent doing that. Because we know to get people to move somewhere else, it's hard. I mean, just
Mhm.
look at how many people getting jacked up on the rents. They're like, I'll take it. You know, I don't want to move my stuff. So I'm just wondering how much incentive would actually for them to take to actually be like, oh, now it's worth it to move. So I
So
don't
James, I guess the question for you is back to Olivia when we're talking with Olivia.
know.
How well are you guys tracking your leads currently that you're getting?
As in when someone calls, we put it into our lead to lease. Is that what you're asking?
Well, you and James, yeah. I mean, are you currently tracking and following up with all your leads? Because I mean, I've done consulting work where I got people who say, I'm trying to get rentals. The phone rings, they don't log it in, they don't follow up with it. So for me, making sure that my front of house stuff, things we're supposed to be doing is right before I start trying something different, making sure we're doing all the things right to, you know, cause I can tell you, I've done consulting jobs where I've randomly called, you know, I had one guy I called 6 of their 25 stores. Nobody took my name or number.
Yeah, I can answer this really easily. I use Call Potential and I strictly grade staff on the calls, and in Call Potential, if you have it, you can set up a script, and the script is they call, I don't care what they say. We're gonna say, oh, for sure, I can help you with that, Jim. Sorry, who am I speaking with this morning? So then I have their name because they're always gonna answer that. And then whatever they say, I just want a price. I say, okay, for sure. Have you used storage before? This is very helpful information to know how, like how to handle this caller. Okay, for sure. Okay, so you have used it before. Okay, you know what you're looking for, no problem. When did you need it? Let me just check availability so that I know what kind of time frame we're working with. If it's something short, like soon or later, and then and they'll tell me when they need it, and then I'll say, okay, for sure. And just to be sure, what are you looking to store so that I can make sure I quote you on the right size price? So now I know when they need it, who they are, whatever those 5 questions that I just mentioned off are. So I know all this information, and then we can really steer the conversation. And I'm really harsh about grading my staff on getting those 5 sentences out at the start of it. And then from there, you know, experiences selling it over the phone and making sure they ask for the sale is where we go from there. But I found time and time again, just using lead to lease or any other system that doesn't force them to track it properly will result in leakage, right? They're not great about it, or somebody calls and says, what's the temperature in your building? Oh yeah, for sure, I can help you with that. Who am I speaking with this morning, right? Like their inclination is to say, oh, it's 12 degrees to 25 degrees, depending on summer, winter. The person hangs up. You don't even know if it's a lead or not. Like it just, I don't know. We leaked so many leads that it's paid for itself over and over. And then just quickly on the self-storage talk, you put that forum up. That email, so they send a weekly summary of their hot topics, and that has provided me so much like just general information that I use at my sales and so on meetings. So like a couple weeks ago, it was talking about lithium batteries. I don't even need to read the forum. I can just kind of pull the topics out of that email weekly summary to kind of just use as discussion points in our meetings that keeps things fresh. And like instead of constantly being like, all right, what am I going to talk about this week? I just drain it out of there, and it works really well for me. But anyways,
We know nothing about that. No. So,
yeah,
there's not much framework. We just let things flow. Hey, I just put that forum link in there for you too, for everybody. We got 2 minutes. I'll try to keep this right at an hour. So anyone have a last minute thought, question?
Otherwise, I'll just chime in what James said of the importance of mystery shopping again. Jim, we talk about all the time. Mystery shopping your staff is something you have to do religiously. We do it all the time. And in my world, no matter how well the shop is done, if it's not logged into my software, it's an automatic 0.
Yep.
Work is not done until the person who needs it gets it.
Exactly. I think for that, I guess in 2 weeks, we'll kind of be, I like to start off with a little recap of whoever's at the SSA, kind of, that's your homework. Pay attention, give you some vendors that you like, something that stuck out. If you go to any presentations, any kind of takeaways from that. I always hate when people are like, oh, it was good. What crap does that mean? I want to hear a little some specifics. So that's everyone's homework that goes to SSA.
Looking forward to doing the manager session with Mr. Cooper again.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
And see what trouble Miss Sherry causes at the booth.
Okay, I want a selfie with you in the front with the crowd in the back.
Dave always does that.
Okay, good. I want to see that then. All right, let's wrap it up. All right. Well, everyone have a safe trip. Have a good holiday. Can't believe it's a holiday weekend again.
Bye, guys.
Every weekend was a holiday coming up. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
You guys.
Everyone joining us. We'll see you next time.